Today I'm going to be reacting and breaking down a song called Megalovania from the Undertale original soundtrack. Boom! Wait, no way! This is from this game? This is crazy. This is great. Obviously has the chiptune vibes written all over it. The theme melody, the theme is great. That chromatic transition there was crazy. That synthesizer sounds so interesting. Ooh. To that riff. I think I never heard this song in its entirety. Just that beginning melody. I think this is tuned in. This guitar is tuned in what? In A, maybe? Maybe in G? I will have to listen to that again. This is such a great melody, mate. Super iconic. I've heard this before. Just didn't know this was from this game. Which leaves me more intrigued. Because it must mean that the game is insanely good. This reminds me of a certain movie. I will think about that later. I really like that the whole theme of the song and its variations are all in chiptune synths. That dramatic transition there, just so good. Yeah, this is where the song gets a lot of attention. The rest of the theme is very much, you know, encouraging, but this part, well, now it's starting to change. But that synthesizer in the lower register gives it a lot of tension for an otherwise very uplifting song. Yeah, I think this is in A. That's the tuning that Korn uses. This particular part of a song, of the melody, it reminds me of something else. Oh, that was it? That was it. Okay. Listen, I was not expecting this to be from this game. But hey, I finally know where it comes from. So let's break it down. I think in a nutshell, this is a high energy metal chiptune track. And the reason I say this is because the song is very simple in its composition, but you know, has the distorted low tuned guitars, which is the metal side of it, along with the drum patterns, very simple pattern along the whole song. But on top of that, of course, we have the chiptune element where we have these synthesizers that are trying to evoke, or we're not even trying, they're actually achieving the evocative sentiment of the video games OSTs of the 80s in the 8-bit era. And the thing is that, as well as I think it might very well be paying homage or tribute to the 8-bit era of video games, it also obviously pertains to the style of the video game itself, because it really resides within the same realm. The 8-bit era of video games is paramount to the industry as we know it nowadays, so much so that we're still getting video games that are developed in basically the 8-bit style, where you have games, you know, like Shovel Knight. Very recently there was this Vampire Survivors, I think it was. You know, they're still releasing and developing games in the same style, and we have to remember that the 8-bit era of consoles basically was responsible for reviving the video game industry, because the video game industry crashed after such a saturation of products that were out there. Pong consoles that were 100,000 consoles. I don't know how many there were, but it was insane. But let's talk further about the music. I think it is very important that we talk about the theme of a song, because it is not only the theme of it, it is also the opening of a song. And it's so incredibly important. It's probably the primordial core of this track. As you can see in my reaction when I heard that melody at the beginning, I instantly recognized the song, you know, from YouTube videos, gaming YouTube videos and whatnot. And there's something that the composer did that I think it was really, really cool, which is using the theme as a counter melody during the verse of it. Which of course goes along with the premise that I've talked about less is more, but also contributes to the whole essence of the track, laying still that tribute or that homage to the 8-bit era, where, you know, by the constraints of the technology, you couldn't really make huge arrangements or whatnot. So this track still preserves, of course, with a modern production and whatnot, that core element of what the original soundtracks of the games of that era were. But let's go even further about the theme, because I think it has sort of a spicy, I don't know, you little rascal kind of vibe. But I think that on top of that, it has an 80s sensibility that obviously comes naturally from the chiptune 8-bit influence that we hear in the synthesizers in the song. But I think it's more specifically from the work of a film composer called Harold Faltermeyer. Now, I think the premise of this track, it's in the majority of its length, is about creating hype, courage, and energy in the player, okay? It's supposed to hype you up, but also has a moment where the song opens a little bit and introduces a synthesizer in a lowered register. This particular section of the song is so important because it's the one that is creating the tension and the menace that is sort of the counterpoint to everything else that we hear in the track, and especially the theme. So I think I'm gonna give this track But hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out this other breakdown that I did. And if you would like to support my work further, you can check the support section in the description of this video, where you can find my Patreon and all the other links, alright? Thank you very much.